gonna ask her to change all that too. We don't have the right to change.
Well, she is changing, or that's what I'm gonna make the motion for. This is just what they would say.
No, I'm gonna ask her to just start doing the motions and the seconds and the votes so that there are no comments in here that are subject to interpretation since we've got that. And actually, she doesn't have to do all this because this has nothing to do with transparency at all. And she can put something in there that she can put a period in the wrong spot and it's gonna be taken the wrong way. She's actually doing this because a lot of commissioners want their name in the minutes, and their name shouldn't really be in the minutes, other than making seconds or making motions. And just read that. She has that right to do that, but she's been approving, she's been just doing what the commissioners asked. And the fact that you asked to amend these before the meeting just pretty much exemplifies it. Because what you wanted in there wasn't in there. So I'm just gonna ask her to stop doing it altogether. Thanks for coming, Brandon. Life is better for you now that Miss Blasenstein, Miss Buchanan's done.
I still got until April, but it's going well.
You still got until the parade?
Yeah.
Is she done until, she's out, she's pretty much busy till the parade? That's Miss Blasenstein's dad.
Yeah, I'm aware.
That's Brandon.
I saw him at the Miss Buchanan.
Right.
He asked me if you were giving me grief.
I haven't been either.
That's good.
I haven't been. I've been pretty,
Seriously, where are you been?
they don't know what grief is, do they, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I did send it to you. Only like 6 or 7 times going out there before I'm not catching anything.
You know how Dan is.
Good evening.
This is the bad boy section.
I didn't even do it. I told you I'll go wherever you need me, so.
You got my answer on,
Yes, I got yours.
put me on the common top list. It's on
The
the
shot.
top list.
No, I got it. I'm gonna make a copy of it.
He doesn't
Give him
want-
that one, yeah.
He doesn't want to be on the art review or whatever that one is.
Thank you. You guys ready?
When you really need a favor, just ask me to do it for you.
Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Buchanan City Commission. It's Monday, January 23rd, 2023 at 7 o'clock. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have roll call, please?
Dennison,
Here.
Whedon,
Here.
Bianski,
Yep.
Money,
Present.
Swam.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. So we're gonna make one quick amendment to the agenda. Under new business, we're gonna have an item B4. Mr. Viancy can tell you what that'll be.
I want to make sure we have a vote for 15-12 restaurant on Redbud as to whether we're going to open the lift station or not.
Okay.
It'd be new business B4. So there's 1, 2, and then 3, 4.
Got it.
Right
All right.
after 4. Or right after, so it'd be there, 4, B4.
Got it. Thank you.
Someone like to make a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Sean.
Dan's got it.
Dan's got it. I'll
Money
second.
support.
There you go.
Thank you.
Money supports. That works.
Did you get that?
Money support?
Yep.
Dan motion?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we have roll call, please?
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yep.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open it up for public comment on agenda items only. If you'd like to make a public comment, please make your way to the podium, state your name for the minutes.
My name is Mark Jackson. I'm a lifelong resident of Buchanan, Michigan. I am also Anton Lockett's teacher and coach. I have supported him up, down, and all around all of my life. Since I've met this young man, he has been an upstanding, outstanding young man. He has been the greatest leader I have had as a coach and probably one of the best individuals I've ever run across in my life. He represents the African-American community in an upstanding and fine way. I would like for us to open this restaurant because it would represent something to the African-American community in this town that has not ever been represented in this community. All of our businesses for African-Americans have not done well or are kind of not the kind of representation we want for our city. He would be the first African-American restaurateur in this town, and I can't understand or I can't say enough about his character and the job that he would do. As my player, I couldn't have been prouder of anyone leading my team to outstanding seasons. This young man, as his teacher and coach, I can't say enough about his character. And I want you to understand something about the African-American community in this town. This would represent something in this town that as black people we have never seen, okay? We've never had an African-American owned restaurant in this town. We've really never had anything like this. For us in the community, it would be something that we could show pride in. It would also give us an opportunity to say that we have black entrepreneurship in this city. It would give the town, which we call the friendliest town in America, an opportunity to show this to the African-American community, not only in our town, but for the rest of the area. This is something that would make our community distinct. It would make our community different. It would make our community more solid. It would bring our community together in a way that it has never been before. So, in my opinion, opening this restaurant would be not only the right thing to do, but a way to show the north side of town and the rest of the area what kind of city Buchanan really is when we say we are the friendliest city in America. Thank you.
Thank Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make a public comment?
Hi, can you hear me? My name is Tracy Dippo, and I'm here with my brief statement of support for Ashley Regal, our Main Street Director. So city employees and commissioners and business owners come and go, so I'm here, because I've been here, I'm old, to give an overview on how we came to this point. Back in 2020, our Downtown Development Authority, our DDA, was dissolved, and there was a lot of back and forth about that decision at that time. The commission made a commitment to replace the DDA with something better, more effective, and everyone agreed that the growth of our beautiful downtown was valuable and important to the success of Buchanan. They would take those tax dollars and redirect them to a new and improved method of nurturing and growing downtown. Further down the road, it was decided to pursue the Michigan Main Street program as that vehicle, and the chamber and city partnered to find, hire, and fund our new Michigan Main Street Director. Ashley Regal was our very top choice. She and a group of dedicated volunteers have been working over a year very hard to submit a successful application for the Michigan Main Street program, which will open the doors for its many benefits, including resources for funding. This program requires a full-time director, and without that leadership and the many skills Ashley has to offer, we simply would not move forward. We've tried the volunteer-only scenario, and it just isn't effective for getting things moving. So that's my statement.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make a public comment?
Tony Hauser, 209 Main Street, president of the Buchanan Development Organization Corporation, which is the group that's going after the Main Street designation. I'm also here to speak to Ashley and to say that we need to continue to have her as our director, and under, even though we are the board and she is the staff member, the director, we follow her leadership, and like we would not be where we are today without her. Having her and continuing to have her on the city payroll will pay dividends in the future. It may cost some money now, but the work that she does is above board, and we would not be anywhere near where we are today without her. So, and then I would like to speak to this gentleman here as a restaurateur as well. We do need to get that restaurant open. We need to find some way to do it. If the issues with the lift station were because the grease trap weren't being maintained, let's see if the lift station is workable, and then have him give monthly invoices from a grease trap company, Mahoney Environmental Company, that can show that that grease trap is being maintained, and then he should be able to be good and clear to go. I wouldn't see why there's a problem. I understand there's a lot of liability there, but as a fellow restaurateur, we do need to have more restaurants here, and it is very important for us in order to have people to stay in this community when we need them to be here. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make a public comment?
What are you gonna comment on? I'm sorry.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, let's move down to the consent agenda. Someone like to make a motion?
We have to talk about these because we've amended these. I don't know if we need to make the motion first or after.
We've amended what?
Well, the minutes were amended.
Well, no,
Change.
not officially yet. I'll make a motion to approve the amended minutes as presented to the commission.
We have a motion, is there a second?
This is money I'll support.
I want to make a comment first, though, please, Your Honor.
Discussion.
I would like the clerk to revert back to the old rules. Motion, second, vote. And I mean, I know the public doesn't get to read too much, but we got YouTube now. Channel 17, I talked to Deb on Friday from Comcast. Everything is done on their end. We need to get some more equipment in here. Brittany said it's on order, it's coming. So you have Channel 17, but you do have YouTube. So actually YouTube is better than this. And when we put, the more words we put in these minutes, the more confusing. You wind up with commas where they shouldn't be, periods or exclamation marks where they shouldn't be. And then you have commissioners that don't like the comments they made, or they want comments added to the minutes. So I would really, after we accept these minutes, I would really like to make a motion to go back to the old way. I won't make that now, I'll wait till we vote.
Well, while we're discussing that, how would you like to do the minutes? And how do, I mean, you,
So minutes are, it's definitely a clerk's opinion, it's definitely a summarization. It can be very detailed, it depends on the city commission, it depends on, it might change over time. It's different for everybody. The minimum that is allowed in there, it has to be the date, times, places, who made the motion, who seconded the motion, when you adjourned. Those are your basic requirements. Anything else is me putting in a summary of what happened. A lot of times, if you guys have probably seen this week, I went back and found minutes that I couldn't find any information. Now, I do go a little bit more detail than I ever have before, but that's what was done in the past. So it's really guidance on where you guys go and where I think it's necessary.
well, I mean, I respect your opinion on, on how it should be done. I mean, I think you do a great job doing what you do.
Comments should be left out until the end, honestly.
Well, and I would think that it's appropriate to ask them to be amended if there's like an error,
Yes,
a
of
spelling
course.
error, and, you know.
Usually that's done at the meeting though, and the clerk will go in and ink and write. If it is a clerical error, I will go in and write, cross out what the error is and write and initial it.
And the only reason that I would prefer to see us not keep changing the minutes is you don't need to do it 3 times. I mean, you're
No.
busy enough that once is plenty.
It would be nice to be able to summarize a little bit less, because it takes me a long time. It takes me Tuesdays, that's what I do.
What, at the next one, why don't you do it the way you want and submit it to us, and we'll, and,
I can.
I'm-
I just always
I mean, does
like,
that seem
Yeah.
fair to everybody?
I'm good,
Yes.
I'm good with that.
work it.
Okay, okay, so we have a motion, we have a second, can we have a roll call, please?
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swem,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon.
Yes.
Can I just clarify, the motion was to approve the consent agenda with the amended minutes?
Correct.
Sure,
Yes.
it was,
I'm good with that.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
And since the mayor made his comments, I don't need to make a motion that you're gonna do them
Nope.
the way you
we're in.
choose fit.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so moving down to scheduled matters from the floor. We have a resolution to support the Berrien County Trails Master Plan. Is there somebody from the Trail Committee, or?
I thought there was possibly going to be, but it doesn't appear that they're here this evening. So if the commission is open to just reviewing the resolution as presented in the packets, all materials, I believe, were presented, both in the public and private packet.
I'll move to approve resolution number 2023.01/03, support the Berrien County Trails Master Plan.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Can we roll call, please?
Money,
Yeah. Yes.
Swem,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski.
Yep.
Carried.
Thank you. Okay, now moving on to reports by departments, committees, and boards. The Buchanan Tree Friends report. Let's see, Mr. Murphy.
Richard, we're supposed to be here.
I guess Ann's gonna be.
We'll put Ann down.
It's officially Ann.
I can't
Um,
believe you
You're-
missed an
you're in there.
opportunity to talk.
Wow.
Shocking. So the Buchanan Antuit from the Buchanan Tree Friends, we got a grant for $4,000 to buy a water tank. We asked for the full amount. We did not receive the full amount for it. So we have money in our budget, so we're just asking for approval to pay the balance out of our account.
Anybody have any questions for?
Where are you gonna store it?
We will probably store it on private property until we have space for it.
Okay. There's been some things brought up about keeping it a DPW. Is Fernwood too far out of way to work out a deal with them?
That's a possibility.
You know, maybe work out something where they use it too, or work out a deal? I mean, I'm just trying to keep it from winding up on city property, not trying to be, you know.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can keep it at the farm, or Richard offered to keep it on his property.
Okay. You have equipment to pull it then too, don't you?
Yes, yeah. It
I
can
mean,
be
I-
pulled with It's made to work with an RTV, so a pickup truck pulls it fine.
Good.
I'll move to approve the purchase of the water trailer as presented.
Thank you. Is there support?
This is money I'll support.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yep.
Money.
Yes.
Thank you, Ian.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.
All right, moving down to the community development report with Director Rich Murphy.
Evening, Commissioners. I think the first item is from Guy Lewis. It's the building report summary that he's going to provide for us ongoing to keep everyone updated on what's happening on the residential and commercial development fronts. That's just for your information. Second item, we have, second and third item are some renewals for annual permits for cannabis. And the first item we have is Cannabis and Wellness. They are up for their renewal for their retail permits, both adult use and medical. I have received their applications. I find them in good order. We have received the payments. The information for the background checks have been forwarded to Buchanan Police Department, and my recommendation is for approval contingent on those reports coming back favorable.
Can I ask a question about the building report first? Sure. Property on Days Avenue, code enforcement, and is there still a permit on that? And I don't know if you know that, and that's okay if you don't, Rich, I can get an answer later. I thought he was gonna be here, cause usually he's here, so I was gonna ask Guy.
Okay.
Do you know if there's
Which property are we talking about?
It's the old print shop. You probably don't know what the old print shop is. What's the address there?
206.
206?
The
It's a
livery.
two-story.
What's that?
The old livery.
Oh,
The livery.
Right there near the commons.
Facility.
yeah, I mean, that building's been in play. We've had some interest for redevelopment. But as far as the code enforcement measures, I don't have an update on that. But I can look into it and get back to you.
Actually, I was asking about the one on Days Avenue. You're talking about the old.
That is Days Avenue.
That's the same-
That is
that's the
one
only
you're
print
talking-
shop.
On Oak Street, or not on
Right
Oak Street,
behind the tin
on
shop?
Days Avenue.
Right
Oh, are
behind
you
the
talking
tin
about
Days
Zinc
Avenue.
Collar or which one?
Kevin Barker's building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what
that's what we're talking
That's
about.
the old livery.
That's livery too?
Yeah.
Well, it's a bridal
St.
shop.
Collar is the other one. you think.
Yeah, yeah, the bridal, I always think weddings.
Livery.
I'm sorry. Okay,
Okay, any questions about Cannabis, anyone? Anybody like to make a motion?
Sean, I'll make a motion to approve the Cannavista Wellness 2023 marijuana permit renewals as presented.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll second.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam.
Yes.
Carries.
Sorry, I should have said this before, but Jen Zielinski of Cannavista Wellness is here this evening, so if you had any questions for her, she was available.
Make it easy on you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is high profile up for their retail permit. Again, I have received their application. I find it to be in good order. The payment has been received and their backgrounds have been forwarded to Buchanan Police Department. My recommendation is for approval based on those reports coming back favorable.
Everything you guys looked at is,
I did some, I want to make a comment, just a quick comment, because I want this out there to the public. I did some quick research. $271 million in state excise tax comes into the state. The state of Michigan gets $271 million from sales tax,
Mhm.
from these dispensaries. They only disperse $41 million. They use $31 million for accounting, even though they collect $40,000 every year for a license. There's $100 million that isn't accounted for. There's a minimal $34 million that goes to the school, and about $43 million that goes to the highways. And that's just a little bit of trivia for everybody out there, because I did a lot of research trying to find it out. But what bothers me is that $31 million for accounting, when they charge $40,000 every year, like we charge $5,000 every year, and they're still taking out excise tax to do office work. Sorry. I'll move to approve high-profile 2023 marijuana permit renewals as presented.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Can I have roll call, please?
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yep.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
carries.
So real quick, since we're on marijuana as a topic, one last comment that plays off of Dan's. I don't know if we even verify if everyone's been paying their excise tax, so I got a call this week saying we should be paying attention to that. And then since we have at least one of the organization's key personnel here, I wanna just talk a little bit about the consolidation in this industry. We've had a heavy investment in growers in this community across the board, so any effort you can make to support them and keep those jobs in Buchanan is greatly appreciated by this commission. It's really important to us that we protect that industry as best we can with the local shops we have.
Absolutely. We do collaborate.
Great.
Especially with local suppliers. So I will make sure to pull a list.
Perfect.
And make sure to get that in the hands of our purchasing
Excellent. Thank you.
department to make sure we have included them.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the excise tax was paid. I followed up on that.
Good.
Okay.
I couldn't agree more with you, that comment, by the way.
Thank you.
To the extent we can leverage that with our existing operators, let's do it.
Yeah, we want to support this whole community,
Yeah.
top to bottom.
Okay, last item, I was before this commission, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, basically announcing my intent to apply for grant funding to AEP for a strategic plan for the Buchanan St. Joseph Public Access strategic plan, and I have good news. AEP has funded this plan. We received the check last week. They funded the strategic plan. AEP, by the way, has been very good to Buchanan the last couple years. They did fund a portion of our McCoy's Creek Trail extension. And once again, they funded this project. I just want to point out what this is. The goal of the strategic plan is to engage the community in a vision for public access and recreation on the existing Buchanan riverfront, and then to work with engineers to craft proposals that are backed up by cost estimates, so that we can systematically, every grant cycle, forward our grant applications to the various industries, such as Michigan DNR, National Fish and Wildlife, Great Lakes St. Lawrence Initiatives, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency. And so this grant was in the amount of $33,500. It fully funds the Abbenmarsh Engineers Consultant proposal, strategic plan. So once again, I'm before you not asking for any money, but for approval to engage in this contract, which would basically give us a really powerful tool backed up by engineers to choose and prioritize projects and put costs behind them. And that's really how our grant applications rise to the top of the pack, is when we have engineering cost estimates. So it's an exciting project. I will say I've been working with Tony McGee and Katie Sands. They're just extremely passionate about natural resources, so really hooked into a good vibe with this, and I'm excited to move forward on the project with your permission.
Thank you for doing this. Anybody like to make a motion?
Sean, I'll make a motion to approve the city administration accepting the AEP grant award to move forward with the St. Joe River Public Access Strategic Planning Process.
Thank you. Is there support?
Mr. Money, I'll support.
Thank you. A roll call, please.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
carries.
And I like how you worked in hooked in there too. I did catch that.
Thank you for your support, commissioners. I appreciate it.
Thank you for all your hard work, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
Moving to item C, the Water Department report.
Hello, Craig Miller, operator in charge, Water Department. I'm here today just to give you guys an update of
how everything's going on the water department. I know it's been a while since we updated you, so, that's why I'm here today. So, a couple quick things that we're wrapping up. Things are moving good with the downtown project and, the well and the new filtration plant at the, water barn. The plans are going well. Some of the licenses are getting submitted to Eagle, so, things are rolling right along with that, so. What else? I got ordered 7 new meters that have shut-offs built in them. Our goal is to get a couple of the duplexes who have 1 line and 2 meters in the duplex. We could not shut them off, and we'll normally have one side that doesn't pay because they figured out we can't shut them off. So the meter companies came out with a new meter. We've been watching it. They researched it, so we'll be able to turn them off right from in here at our desk whenever.
Whenever someone doesn't pay. Can you say that again really loud?
Yeah, exactly. So that's gonna be good news for us because we do have some outstanding balances on a couple of the duplexes that we just can't do nothing about right now. So that's a good progress for us. Working with Kelly Hahn from the Michigan Rural Water, we are just finishing up the wellhead protection program. We had to update some of the response plan, so change some names. With the added of well 6 going out there, we might have to move our wellhead protection plan a little bit, you know, to the west. So we're looking into that. We're making sure that all the wells, that abandoned wells out in that area, all have been capped. I've been in contact with Barron County Health Committee, and I'm getting a report that all of those are done and sealed up, so nothing's gonna get into our aquifer. We have had some issues with our electric. We found out because of our wells will shut off just periodically throughout the day. I called Peerless Midwest, come in, and they looked at our VFD, which starts and stops the motor, and it kept getting a fault code of low voltage. So he said that's gotta be coming in from the electric, with help from Mike Baker. We got a hold of AEP. They were out like the very same day with put a computer thing on our meter and found out our meter is dropping volts from 125 down to 11 volts at times. They have been out there quite a few times. They were here last week again. They found a couple little things. They don't know if they exactly found out why this is happening. So
Is that one of the new digital meters
yes,
they put in?
Yep, so he was able to put a computer on it, and it just gives a readout, just kind of like our water meters do, you know, of the day and time and what the voltage is going through it. So, and he could see where, I mean, the lowest it dropped was 11. It would go to 80, go to 60, but with the equipment we got, we know it, like a regular house probably wouldn't be able to figure out right away that, hey, I'm only using 11 volts right now, you know, but with my well and that electronics, it knows right away that I can't run, so it shuts it off. I get an alarm, I gotta restart it. So, so we're looking at that. AP has been there quite a bit, so.
Can I ask a question real quick? Has anyone else had any issues with their new digital meters that the city put in? I'm just curious. I have. I have underground electric, but our new digital meter, somehow it dropped a leg. And
Yes.
so half of our house worked and half of it didn't. Our ceiling fans were moving really slow. Our refrigerator was working, but it was not cold. It was really weird. So I just wondered if anybody else in town had any
Right, and
issues.
Yeah, he
since
did
AEP.
mention something because, see, the power that I have going out there is above ground, and he did mention the fact that it's odd that it is above and not below, because they've had some issues with the below, so
That's weird.
maybe you're not the only one,
Yeah.
so.
But to clarify, the AEP meter is not a city issue.
No, I get, yeah, no.
I'm just, because that's the phone call
Oh,
we're
it's
gonna get
mine.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yes.
mine.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but that's still an AEP problem. Call AEP with problems on that.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're all right, you're all right. So hopefully, you know, AEP can get that figured out, and we can keep our pumps running and not stopping. It's certainly not good on the equipment out there. probably late October, early November, I was getting, a communication fault on my SCADA system. And basically, it's just, you know, computer that the well house talks to my base, the base talks to the well, and it just says, hey, I need water, or hey, stop pumping water. And I kept getting a lot of communication faults. Well, a week later, it just kinda just stopped. They stopped talking altogether. I called Kennedy Industries, they're our company that we have it. The guy came out, he worked for probably 8 hours, but due to people quitting and leaving Kennedy, the guy who wrote the program was no longer there. They couldn't get into our access, they couldn't figure out a whole lot. The best he came up with is something's wrong with the firewall and they can't get in it, nor can they get one within a few months. So the first night, basically with the help of the DPW, we set around the clock, somebody would come in every 3 hours. So they'd come in, we got it on the pressure so we could see where the water tower's at. So if it was, you know, we made a note, you know, if it's at this pressure, go ahead and shut it off. If it's not, just leave it. The next guy come in 3 hours later. So Kennedy came in the next day, worked another 8 hours, still couldn't get it fixed. They brought, now I'm not a computer guy, so all I know is they brought something from their base that they control, and they put one in the well house one in my base, and one at the water tower, just so we can start running somewhat normal again. So as of right now, we're running with the well one, the water tower, and the base. The problem with that is if something was ever to happen to well one, you know, with the water testing, or if something goes wrong, we're back to coming in every 3 hours until they come back down and reprogram that little box to another well. So they put a very, very thin Band-Aid on it. So moving forward, we're still just kind of sitting in limbo with what's going on. And I guess basically moving forward, I'd kind of ask the commission is, what direction do we want to take from here? Do we look at redoing the system, because we will be getting another well? We're going to be getting another filtration plant that all has to get added into the SCADA system also. So
What are they doing with the box that isn't working now? Or do they have a new one on order, or they're not doing
Yes, yeah, they're trying to get one on order. They said there was like 3 ahead of me already. And I don't like to talk ill of people. I mean, I know everyone's having the hardship of everyone's leaving. They're very short-staffed to get the response and to get here quickly. I mean, it was nice enough that they came back the next day and brought these other pieces. Another guy did, so just to get us up and running. But on my side is these are very important things to keep water going to our city.
Who else
Yeah.
is in this space that can sell us this stuff? Kennedy can't be the only supplier.
Oh, no,
right?
there's a lot out there. I have not dug into it deeply. I know Gas Boda does it, Peerless Midwest does it.
I mean, just based on what I'm hearing, they don't sound like a relationship that's gonna support us the
Exactly,
way we
you
need
know,
to be
and
supported.
maybe back in the heyday, it was installed in 2018, and maybe things were up and running good, but just, you know, talking to them, that it's not, they're run very thin. And moving forward, you know, like I said, they did help us out, put a Band-Aid on it, but moving forward and for the, you know, safety of everybody in the city is, you know, should I start looking for a different vendor? I talked with Pine and Newhoff a little bit about it too, so they're gonna point in a direction too if we need to, so, because they definitely need it.
Do you know roughly how much a new system, like, dollar-wise? Just curious.
Not like a full system. It would be hard to say what they would come in. I mean,
But we're gonna have to upgrade anyway, because we're
Yes.
adding a well, so I mean.
right.
We've got Mike Schwartz of Prine and Newhoff. That's what we reached out to him right away, let him know the predicament, asked him to come up with recommendations, recommended vendors that would be able to provide better support moving forward if and when there is a problem. So we're waiting for that direction from him at this point. Plus, there's an additional show, if I'm not mistaken, where
Yes.
there's going to be multiple vendors available. We were going to solicit information, get as many as we can so that we have a bid list, so to speak. Once we get that recommendation from Mike, put it before you guys, and then reach out and get pricing.
Is there any
Yes.
grants out there that we can start chasing?
That I'm not sure of right now, Dan. I mean, we could look into it. I know Gas
Well, and I'll
Boda-
help you look into it,
Okay.
just point me in the right direction, so I don't
Absolutely.
have to Google a million things before I get to it.
Yes.
You know,
and,
just send it to me.
Yeah.
Just go to
Yeah, Mike Schwartz
Mike
is looking
from,
into that for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian and Newhall.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, February 6th, in Lansing is the big joint expo for water, wastewater. That's where all the big vendors are there, so I will be there in attendance to, you know, shop around and look at people. Gas Boda's already wanting to set up a Zoom meeting to kind of get what we might need and what we, you know, can do, so they're going to. And I reached out to Peerless Midwest already, just because they're right across the state line in case this happens again, where something happens and we are in a predicament. South Bend is, you know, 20, 30 minutes away versus Kennedy's 4 hours on the other side of the state, so.
Let's look into, you know, like Peerless, have they sold out? Because what probably happened, I think, I don't know if I was a commissioner in 18 when we did this. You know, if they sold out, if the old man left, you know, and they sold out, and then they just changed their whole way of thinking. So Peerless has been around for about, what, 75 years?
Yeah,
So
And
grab all the
Peerless-
cards you can grab while you're up there.
right, and Peerless, we got this, I learned from Prina Newhoff, it's a VT SCADA is the equipment we have, and that is the equipment Peerless does use. So it would be maybe a little cost effective on that side too, is we already have the VT SCADA software, whether they need to update it from 2018, but that's kind of like a plug and play per se, you know, so that's a plus for them as they have it, whereas I don't know about everyone else uses VT SCADA, but it is a very popular SCADA system, brand VT SCADA, so. But yeah, like I said, I'm just putting that out there that there are some issues, we're on top of it, you know, we're trying to make sure everything's running smooth and no hiccups at all. I mean, we don't want any of that, so. Any more questions about the SCADA before I move on? All right, what else do I got? Basically, we do the leak report, every now and then you hear about that. We're still doing that, we're getting some great response, and, I was with Brian Pruitt when the whole fiasco happened over Christmas break. I was in there Christmas Eve, I think, or the day after Christmas. They had a severe problem with water leaking. I was able to notify them. Unfortunately, it was already too late. They flooded out 2 offices, and that wasn't the worst of their problem, because the next day 6 more of the boiler systems broke and flooded rooms. So, but like I said, we was able to alert them, and for the record, they had another one break last night at 6 p.m. I alerted Brian this morning, and that's what he told me. He said they had another one break, so at least now they know when it broke. So we're still like trying to do the customers a great service of letting people know ahead of time, especially if they didn't know. So that's still a thing we're trying to do every day, and it's going really well and getting great response from that. And the last is, you know, we're still getting some work orders, people needing stuff done, and I'm still trucking along with that. We're going good, so we're still in the interview process, so we're hopefully can get somebody else in here to help me out a little bit, but other than that, I think the water department's still going strong.
Is that copper at the school, or is that just because it's 70, as old as the school?
They had something with the boiler systems, and I don't know, I talked with Brian Pruitt a lot about what was causing it to happen. They're not really sure why.
So it's the heater system?
It was just the
So
heater
there's
system.
vibration in it too?
So, yeah, so one broke, and then it was like a chain reaction if the heat just kind of built up in each room. I know when I got there and met with Brian, and his office was just totally flooded, and then we went upstairs above his room, and that room was probably about 120 degrees, because that boiler was stuck open, that radiant heater was stuck wide open, and the paint was literally just bubbling off the walls. And then shortly after that, like 4 or 5 more, they just kept going, so. But yeah, age is probably definitely something to do with that.
Yeah, 'cause that's all boiler heat.
Yep. So.
That was new when Larry was a senior.
Knew when I was a freshman.
1925.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Craig?
Thanks, Craig.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
When he was a freshman.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, went down as a freshman.
Okay, item D, Public Safety Report. Director Tim Gaines and Chief Harvey Burnett.
Well, it looks like the first thing on the agenda here is the budget amendment for the squad car.
And those are provided, reference in the packets and also printed copies before the commission.
Okay, any questions on those that we can follow up on?
So is this
Less than I thought.
basically asking for the money for the vehicle, or was this budgeted in the budget?
They have 14,000 in reserve that was set aside that can be spent out of it, but the remainder will be coming as an additional expenditure not previously budgeted for. That's why it's coming in the form as a budget amendment request.
So last meeting was, we didn't have an exact cost, so we wanted to be able to approve an exact cost of the car, or the new squad car versus an estimated cost.
Well, I know we've had treasurer problems, but I'd really like to make sure you guys, I'm gonna ask this of everybody. I mean, amending these budgets, you know, it's just, and I'm not trying to say no, you're the first ones actually asking for an amendment with me up here. When this budget comes up, we need to spend the time, gentlemen and ladies, and make sure, except for in dire straits, that we haven't looked through this and budget explicitly for this, so we don't have to do this. Because we've got so many expenditures that there's not gonna be a lot of movement, so.
Agreed.
Mr. Simon, that's why we provided you a capital improvement plan and prediction of what is needed. That way, when you do your budget planning, you can take that into consideration.
So I'll move to approve the budget amendment 012323D to authorize cash purchase of a new police patrol vehicle.
Thank you. Is there support?
This is money I'll support.
We have roll call, please.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay.
The second item, as you are aware, the Buchanan Community Schools did receive the SRO grant. And I think that letter was shared in that amount for the next 3 years. So the state provides 60%. The school has worked out and is working with an MOU, a memorandum of understanding of how to split that other 50% that needs to be paid for the SRO for the next 3 years.
Great.
You might not know this off the top of your head, but have we seen an impact on call volume already? Or-
Yes.
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 We've had several calls. Yes.
Our resource officer's been very busy.
Busy,
Very
yes.
busy these last few weeks.
Same amount of calls, but someone's present, basically, or more?
I think more calls because they're
geez.
present.
Right.
To be honest with
So
you.
people are actively, okay.
Now they can reach her more directly. It's,
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Before they handled it themselves? Now
They didn't.
maybe you're hearing about it more because someone's there? Is that what you're saying? Or,
yeah, so sometimes what would happen is, the schools may handle some things internally, depending on what it is. They may refer it over to us, on that. Now that, they have more of a direct, I guess I would call pipeline, you know, they can quickly say, hey, can we get a hold of Officer Bruce? Officer Bruce can be there, either as a presence or, to begin an investigation, or parallel investigation, depending on what it is and things. And I, you know, even today, I got called into the office, principal's office, for another issue, so yes. And Officer Bruce was with me, so that took care of that.
Also, we've also had kids come up to Officer Bruce and say, hey, this is going on. So, that's what we wanted. We wanted to be able to be there for anyone that wants to talk to us and feel comfortable with, having those conversations with the school resource officer, so. We're very happy with these first couple of weeks.
What happens in 3 years when the state funding stops?
Well, that's where we're gonna have to come up with a plan to decide by that time what's gonna happen. And so that's why, with the direction of coming up with a capital improvement plan and those kind of things, we'll look at a long-term solution to see what can be done. I'm not sure what our budget situation will be for the city at the time, don't know, but, we can do some foreshadowing, we can do continued partnerships with the school, and see how that works out.
That's all we can do.
Or more of a partnership with the outlying communities.
Well, that's the whole problem, and that's why I asked, because can you eliminate that position with it being a union position or not, when the time comes? I mean, and worst case scenario, I'm not asking, all I'm asking is dollars and cents. When that monetary fund stops, that's the problem with this. The state government says, we'll throw this money at you. And in 2 years from now, the communities have to either deal with getting rid of a cop or getting rid of a fire department member, or come up with the money.
Again, that's where foreshadowing is important, and think about foreshadowing and planning and budgeting. That's why we have time to do that at this particular point in time. Unless something majorly drastic happens with the financial situation of the city, I think we can sit down and come up with some kind of budgeting or some kind of look at direction of how things will go.
So is this an extra officer, or is this still just one of your?
This officer is still within our budget at present.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, going down to item E, the Public Services Report, Director Mike Baker.
Good evening, Director of Public Services, Mike Baker. I have you guys all got the Baker Tilly bond report. Just making sure you got it. If there's any questions, you can contact Andy Campbell. His number is on here if there's any questions. Or I can
You might get a recap, I don't.
try to
remember
tackle
looking
it if you need.
Is it just a date of when they anticipate the bond?
Yeah, it's
When
just the
is the
dates of
date?
when they anticipate the bonds coming up. It just is the bond, schedule of what's going on with everything.
I must have overlooked that.
So, like I said, if there's any questions, you can get with Andy, or we can show you here, I guess. The new DPW building, they went out for bid to start the preliminary bids on so we can see where we're at. I've gotten a lot of phone calls from the local people we've put out as vendors we would like to use. I've directed them to call ABB and get their direction from them, because there's a lot of unanswered questions in the paperwork that they've got. So, that's what I'm finding from everyone who's called me so far, so I'm just passing it right on down the line. I figure that's what we pay them for. So,
That's right.
that's where we're going with that. But it is moving. They are putting it out for bid, like I said. I've gotten calls from the steel building places, I've gotten calls from electricians, I've gotten calls from concrete people, earthworks, you name it, I've handled the phone calls so far. So, very excited with what's moving, and hopefully it keeps moving, so.
If I can just add, Friday we had a construction meeting about the DPW building, and Amelia made the comment that it seemed like people were really excited to be quoting this work because they
Yes.
are having less and less work, and she was confident that the price was gonna optimistically go down, so.
She's pretty confident.
Myself, Mike, Ralph McDonald, Heather, Gary Barton, Amelia. Is that it?
ABB,
Are they? They
they're
weren't there
normally
Friday
there, they
morning,
weren't there
though.
on
They weren't there.
Friday, but they're normally there. Daniel Burns, he was there on Friday,
he?
Daniel was, yep.
I don't know, I do it from my phone, so I don't
Yeah,
get to see it.
I'm trying to picture everybody's,
I just haven't seen the list, that's all.
yep. And last but not least, we have a general update on everything that's going on. We're actively picking up garbage since our sweeper is still trying to get parts and getting worked on. We picked up garbage last week out on Shermer Parkway for about 3 hours, 4 of us. It was a good time climbing up and down the hills, picking up everyone's garbage. Lots of garbage. I don't even know. We get Burger King and Culver's, and you'd figure they'd throw it out long before they got here, but that seems to be the catch-all out there. The guys are out today picking up garbage through downtown. We did another trash run of sorts that we still have garbage cans out here and there in some of our parks. And we're cleaning the streets the best we can through downtown, and we're shoveling literally shoveling the garbage and all the leaves and everything up through downtown, trying to make it presentable. It's a tough battle. We are battling it. I can't wait for my sweeper to come back. I've been in contact with them. I talked to the guy this morning, actually. I called them about 3 times a week just to be a pain in their side. The guy called me actually this morning, and he said, hey, before you call me, I just wanted to let you know, we're working on it. We're getting parts in daily. It's going back together. Hopefully we can have it back soon. So if the weather holds out, fingers crossed, we get 6 more inches of snow on Wednesday, and then it goes away for a while. I'm good with that, but we're steadily working at it. We're patching holes on a daily basis. We may not be to everyone's holes everywhere, but we are working our way there. I promise you that. We're building a new railing for the trail. They fell in love with our railing we built for the Batten Mill down here, so the kids can't kick them out. So we're building one for out on Shermer Parkway, the overlook that's out there. So I would imagine that we're gonna keep progressing through their overlooks to stop the vandalism. So that's what we have going on. Always maintenance in our vehicles, always washing them, keeping them clean, trying to keep up on stuff.
Have you checked into the work release at all? I know they like getting out of county.
They do not have, we deal with them all the time. Whenever they have an opening, they call me. They don't even wait for me to call, they just call me and say, do you have, and every single time I say, absolutely, come on down. So, they don't run it in the winter time. And they don't have a jail deputy to do it. So, very seldomly do they get out, but whenever they can and they're willing to come here, I take them. Either I use them or Jerry uses them every single time for the trail. So, we love that program.
I did want to tell you that I reached out a little bit about the dog park. I don't know if anybody's seen what I put on Facebook, and I just wanted to tell the commissioners at the meeting, I threatened to put a lock on the gate. Now, it's not really my place to say that, but it's not your place to clean up dog crap either. I try to be friends, but there's a couple of people on there that don't want no part of me. They started their own little Facebook page, but they only got 6 people on it. So I don't know what we can do, but I was hoping Mr. Martin was gonna be here tonight because, you know, somebody was complaining about not using it as a baseball field, but I could never find anybody that wanted to take it over and actually create and use it as a baseball field.
Sure.
So I did follow up on that, I just wanted to let you know.
Yep. Well, like I said, we were cleaning up trash down there today, and the guys did trash run there, and we did put the dumpster back, and the dumpster was out of there. I don't know if I told you this or not.
I seen it was down there.
But
yeah.
we pulled it out of there because we locked the gate. They couldn't get over the bridge to get back there for a while. So
What was you doing on North Liberty this weekend?
there was a sewer issue that we told them was not on us multiple times, and then they had a company up there that
Serpro was up there.
that All Pro.
All Pro.
They had a company up there doing the work. They dug it up in the street. They dug it up all the way to the house. They called us yesterday and said, hey, your line is backed up. So I sent a crew up there. We had what we got reported from us, the neighbors across the street, is that they didn't have a trench box in the hole. Their trench collapsed in on the pipe and put dirt in our main. So then, which backed up everyone, backed up the line, but it didn't back up anyone in particular. But the people, the homeowners that they worked on, still couldn't use the restroom. So we came, we cleaned it all out, got our part open, and I don't believe that ours was plugged 100% because my jetter went right through it, but we did pull out probably a 5-gallon bucket of sand. So it would have eventually filtered through and went away. But what they did find is All Pro installed a new line, and there was 2 bellies in the line because after we cleaned our line, we made the homeowner go run water, and he still couldn't flush his toilet. So All Pro came out, sent their camera down, and found 2 bellies in the line that were holding so much water that it wouldn't flush for the homeowner.
Can we send All Pro a bill?
We do have their bond, so,
I mean, you were out on Sunday, so I mean, it was no small task.
yes, sir. I have all the man hours, I have the truck load with water.
That's why we had the bond, so yeah, that's likely what the. course of
Please.
the- Yeah.
Yep.
If I
So-
need to make a motion, I'll make a motion.
No,
Cause they were up
pursue
there
it
a lot, and
administratively.
they were up there, I seen them up there, cause I was cruising around, me and the dog.
Yep. I made the guys stay there until All Pro came and confirmed what we thought was the problem. But they did have problems with the line before this All Pro installed a new line. The part of their line was completely missing, so, the whole problem wasn't even on us to begin with, and then they made it our problem when the hole collapsed and dumped sand in our line, and then they didn't clean it out, so.
Well, I hope you have documentation, because the thing about it is, that was a Sunday call.
Yep. That's what I have, unless you guys have something for me.
Thanks for putting that back out there.
Yes, sir?
And I haven't been able to find anybody that's really in charge. Do you know anybody that's in charge of the dog park, Heather? Or even pretending like they're in charge of the dog park?
Put that lock on.
Last
there
I
and
knew,
find
I
out.
thought Pat Moore was,
Oh,
did she give that up?
I don't know that she is, yeah, I'm not aware.
They've not met since I've been here.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that.
Jackie Lowe or.
Moulter is, she's running the dog park.
Who?
Moulter? Can't think what her.
Do you have her contact information?
Mariah?
No, it's the
husband's the
electrician's wife.
electrician.
Oh, Todd Malter? No, I don't know. I don't know.
Rob Moulter's wife.
No.
Well, if anybody can find it out and get it to the clerk and get it to me, because I will personally put a lock on that stupid dog park. We need to put a sign up first, saying if you don't clean up after yourself, we're gonna lock it, obviously. And that's something we're gonna have to do through the whole commission, but I'm trying to avoid that by saying and doing what I'm doing right now.
It happens in all the parks. Down at the Commons, when we have Easter egg hunts down there, we have to go down there and spend hours walking through there, picking up all the, I mean, they're not supposed to have dogs at the cemetery. We go to the cemetery, pick it up out there for a funeral. We have it everywhere. It's literally everywhere. Should we be picking it up? I would prefer not. I don't think it's really a fair deal for my guys to be out there.
Well,
And
the dog
myself,
park
I
is
do it
something that
myself,
we can
so.
actually deal with because we authorized it, and
Yeah.
we actually authorized it. So,
That's what I
I'll just
have.
work on
Yeah.
one thing at a time.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, item F, the clerk report.
Mine will be quick, so, just Prop 2 updates, just informing you guys and the public, so the state of Michigan will not be ready to give us any kind of guidance for the 9 days of in-person early voting coming in May 2nd, which technically by law, we do not have to host it, but myself, City of Bridgman and City of New Buffalo and Lincoln Township had volunteered to be a pilot program for the state of Michigan, trying to get them to maybe move, and that we would be prepared before the presidential elections in 2024. They have pretty much flat out said the only thing that they're gonna do is, make sure that we have postage, return postage. So, working with those other 4 clerks that are fantastic, we have come up with a different plan for, the permanent AV list now. It is not called the permanent application list anymore, because with Prop 2, they passed that if you were on that list, you get a ballot for every election. You no longer have to fill out the application. So, in May, I will be sending an application out to everybody that is currently on our permanent list with another letter that will be up on our website if you wanna see it or sign up early. That letter pretty much states that you are going to be a permanent AV voter and that I will send you a ballot for every election. Now, a lot of people vote absentee if they're going out of town or they're, they got something going on. It doesn't happen very often. Those people will have to contact me to fill out an application for every election if they want to do so. So yeah, we're working with it. I've been in contact with the 4 of those clerks. They are absolutely amazing and kind of bouncing off ideas off of each other, going back and forth. We did come up with that sample letter because we have no guidance from the BOE of what the letter should look like. I did volunteer to be part of a group. They're gonna be going all over Michigan to kind of put together a policy and procedure plan on how to run an election now with Prop 2. So I haven't heard back from that, but I'll update you if I get it. The other thing, this is kind of never gonna do it, but tomorrow I will be appointed Secretary of the Michigan Association of Municipal Cemeteries on that board. Because I have so much time, I figured, why not? But yeah, I will be appointed to that. I am recently new to that board, but yeah.
So they suckered you in?
Yeah, they
Congratulations.
suckered me.
Congratulations.
But yeah, that's all I got.
So I think it was after the last meeting, you had mentioned something about you thought we might need new tabulators?
So the legislation committee for the state, for the Clerks Association, which 2 of our clerks in the county are on, and I'm so happy they're on because then they get it right from the state, the BOE. There was a giant list of what they're concerned about. And could be up to 3 different ballot styles, so 1 for AV, 1 for early voting, 1 for precinct, like election day. Which ballot costs are one of our biggest things with elections that we have to worry about. And when I do my ballot ordering, I usually go off the previous elections because I have to order a certain amount, but I gotta be careful because it's expensive. And I have no idea how I would order this because it's gonna be 3 ballots. How do I know how many people are gonna early vote? How many people are gonna vote AV still? How many are gonna come in on election day? It's really that's why I really wanted to test it. A lot of these things. Now they were talking about having different tabulators for early voting and election day. So that would be us having to buy tabulators that we don't have grant money for, which is extremely costly to any kind of smaller jurisdiction that doesn't have the budget for that.
Because a tabulator is how much?
It's,
20,000?
yeah, about almost 50 now,
Oh,
50,000 it can go up to, depending on if you go for a high speed or what you're going for. Yeah, it's not a cheap thing. And we were lucky enough where we got a grant the last time when we purchased through HAVA. I think we paid only $5,000 for it.
You have to have a safe room though, too.
Yes, I have to have a safe room as well to lock everything and cage everything up. And so a lot of people don't know, with the e-poll books, when you go to sign in, those are actually uploaded by me the night before after 4 o'clock. And I upload them onto the computers that are sitting in the precinct. So it shows everybody who's turned in an AV ballot, who is not, they need to be verified or challenged. With that 9 days, they're trying to figure out a way to automatically update that as it goes. But to me, could easily be hacked, and that means you have internet. Those computers that are in your precinct do not have internet. Okay, they are completely offline. So the HUD is now but we can't tabulate everything until election night. So balancing is going to be a difficult thing for the precinct workers, because you have to think, my average precinct worker is about 75 years old. So it's going to be difficult for them to look at the numbers. So even at the end of the night, uploading the e-poll book every night, everybody in the state of Michigan uploads at the same time, and it takes hours, because you're in line. There's just a lot of misinformation and not knowing what to do, and I'm one of those people that are like, nope, we have to have a plan in place, and I'm gonna sit there and dive into it until we have something. And thank God we have about 5 clerks in this county that think the same way I do, and we're diving into it pretty heavy, so.
Thank God we have you.
That's all.
Thank you. Okay, item G, the Joint Water Sewer Board report.
So I don't believe our chair, Tom Gordon, is here this evening. So similar to the other issue, I can state that there are materials provided both in the public and private packets. And beyond that, there's scheduled on the agenda for additional conversation in closed session.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna go right by that to unfinished business. Item A was alternate appointments.
So the commission has been asked to consider whether they want to serve as alternates on assorted city boards and commissions, and really it's just a discretionary item for you as commissioners to decide which boards you do or do not want to serve as an alternate on.
Has everyone seen this list, the final list?
No.
Can we just make copies of it and disperse, we don't have to do it right now, and then we can decide on it next week, or I mean at the next meeting?
Sure.
After we've looked at it?
I mean, Dan said he wanted to be on all of them. Just make
I
it-
don't care.
Put 'em on everything?
Call me. I think you should just have a list. I'll be number one. Call me first and tell me what, and I don't care.
I'm fine with
But
making copies.
don't do
So
Survey
should we-
Monkey no
so
more.
should we
It was a
table this or
joke.
just move on?
Let's not do
Either one's just
Survey
fine.
Monkey no
Would
more.
anybody like to make a motion to table?
Postpone, right? Is it postpone or table? Which
Table.
Postpone if you're moving it to the
Alright, I'll
next
motion to
Okay.
postpone so it can be distributed to the commission.
I'll support.
May we roll call?
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money.
Yes.
Who's that, Mark? Did Mark second?
Yes, Mark seconded. I didn't write that.
Okay. Down to item B, RFP for Ross Sanders Building?
So this is an item that was discussed during a recent city commission work session, and based on the conversation held in that work session, I have in the proposed motions before you encapsulated some of the items that were discussed as potentially being included in that. It sounded like there was consensus for considering putting the Ross Sanders building out in RFP within 30 days, so I wanted to get you guys the opportunity to vote on whether you want to finalize any of the discussion points actually being in the RFP or not at this point, so that we can get that put out there.
We don't even have a property divided yet. We don't have separate tax IDs.
Well, you wouldn't yet.
I mean, there's no survey. I mean, at one time, this was an impossibility. Bill Marks always said it was an impossibility.
Well,
And he
it's
always
not.
got mad at me because I said, well, then keep the police station in there, put the police station back in there. So, I mean,
Did we get a survey on that already, Rich?
I can look. I don't know
I
how
remember
old it is.
hearing-
Yeah.
I thought I remember hearing we had one recently.
well, you were there for an hour Wednesday.
Yeah, but that was just looking at the geo map, or the parcel maps.
And it definitely doesn't have to be voted on at this time, it's just an opportunity
No.
if you guys wanted to
I
lock
think-
anything in.
I think we need to get it out there.
I do too.
Um,
And I wasn't at the meeting Wednesday, so I apologize, but I don't know what all these other
Yeah,
things
no,
are. I don't know if
I
someone.
can talk to
I
it.
mean, I'd
It
like
was
to.
a really good meeting. Rich did an excellent
Yeah.
job. Start with that. You know, we started with primarily, this is the first one we started on because it's got the most ready to act on property. We had people come that were interested. Obviously, the one that's been at the table the most is Gateway up to this point. They've been working on this specific property for 2 years with the help of the Preservation Society. They're thrilled either way if whoever meets this criteria, whether it's them or another party, can check those boxes either way. They're willing to share information on all the work they've done up to this point. The group in the room at that time had fairly good, I wouldn't say consensus, but people need to be able to show they have the ability to act quickly on the project right away. They have the funding appropriated. We talked 60 days, I believe, is kind of the timeline we wanted to allow for people to submit bids. So if they do have a financing component to their bid, which I would consider secondary to a cash individual that can show they have that in place, that they have the time to put those plans together since it's going to be going to market. And if they need outside funding other than cash, they have that opportunity to do so. That's really the nuts and bolts. We did talk residential property eventually, but.
But is there something here that Rich needs in order to go out for RFP?
So he's looking for formal approval on the specs below as minimum requirements. Have the cash on hand to do it.
Oh, I see what
Or
you're saying, what's going on
financing,
here,
yeah.
These were the minimums that we agreed upon
Yep,
at that meeting, and, I mean, there'll be more time for, edits or suggestions,
Right.
but we wanna kinda get the go-ahead to start crafting the first draft.
Putting it together.
And that was the whole point of this, is to get it out there, let's start working on it.
That's not how an RFP works. And as far as, I got a different opinion about that meeting. It was 59 minutes and 59 seconds wasted of my time, which could have been presented tonight. I'm sorry to be so negative about it, but it was an hour of my time wasted. The thing about it is I want to be presented with an RFP. I don't want to be presented with a port. And at the meeting, we did decide that we needed to do something within 60 days to get out an RFP. This is not an RFP. This is a preamble to whatever. And with that property being as screwed up as it is, I know the Preservation Society is biting at the bit, but they had the opportunity to take it over and they didn't. So I mean, I would really like to see a drawn-out RFP presented to us.
That's what he's,
before we
that's
go
what he's,
forward.
That's what
what do you mean?
No, it's not.
No, he wants to start putting one together.
We give him, why do we have to make a motion to put an RFP together when this is not an RFP?
I'll motion to put the RFP together with the minimum criteria outlined below being proof of financing or cashability, the preservation easement that's outlined, 60-day requirement to go out to bid, and the split of the property to satisfaction of the commission.
Go get to work.
Thank you, Rich.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Roll call, please.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
No.
Money,
Yes.
Swam.
So you
Yes.
want an
Carries.
All right, moving on to new business. Item A, waiver of conflict of interest, former Wheatberry Lift Station. Consider approving a waiver submitted by the city attorney through which the city of Buchanan, if approved, agrees to waive any conflict of interest on the part of the city attorney relating to the former Wheatberry Lift Station matter. Does everybody understand that? Anybody have any questions?
This is just, my understanding, this is just allowing us, right, to decide if they can decide who owns it.
Well, this is for us to be able to hear the city attorney's memo regarding.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Would somebody like to make a motion?
Gotcha.
Sean will make a motion to approve as presented the waiver of conflict of interest submitted by the city attorney and hereby authorize the city manager and the mayor to sign said waiver.
Is there support?
Money will support.
Thank
I
you.
have a question.
Okay.
Why does he get a free out of jail, out of jail free card? I'm sorry. We're all conflicted in this. So I mean, is he directly involved or is he indirectly involved? You know, I mean, if this is just a piece of paper, which basically it seems to be a get out of jail free card to me. And either he can disclose he's working for us or he's not. And you're conflicted, he's conflicted, we're all conflicted in this. And we're gonna give the lawyer a free get out of jail card. I mean, you've got a motion, so I just wanted to make the comment.
Okay, thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
No,
Money,
Yes.
Swam.
Yes.
Carries.
Thank you. All right, item B, closed session. Someone like to make a motion to enter closed session?
Sean will make said motion.
Can you read that?
Oh, I'm
unfortunately,
sorry.
the MCL part?
Sure. I'll make a motion to enter closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268, section 8(1)D and H to discuss legal memos pertaining to the following attorney-client privilege matters. The former Wheatberry Lift Station, a contractual matter and a matter of employment and law, in addition to also discussing the potential purchase and lease of real property.
Thank you. Is there support?
Money, I'll support.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison.
Yes.
Carries forward.
Thank you.
I'll try to read it as
Quickly as you can.
Yeah.
All right, don't start now.
Gotta hit the John there.
I didn't know you guys were gonna do that.
I went a little crazy, I thought, yeah.
I am very grateful.
I wasn't prepared either, even though I knew what I was doing.
Can't lose it.
What are you doing? Yeah, cool. Well, why? No, I did 30 weeks. No, I just don't have any comment to make.
We got a guy in Niles that does that. The foundation takes set up that whole, we got out there. Really? I have. Well, I think that's the best solution.
There's a drinking fountain right there.
Well, let's think about this.
Get your water.
Oh, yeah, but everybody can all work up our contract.
I don't want it. Like that's another problem.
Related to somebody or.
Everybody knows it. We planted trees there because then it could never. That's why I said Mr. Martin planted this grant,
It's nice to see you, not overall. Thank you. Yeah.
Do an awful lot of
We chose that because we like to do things that
Each other's you're never gonna believe what's happening outside. All of us. It's just coming out of the sky. Yeah, waterfront property right there. You'll start getting it up. Yeah, no, it's a tourist attraction. No,
they didn't really. I didn't
because I'm worried when it turns back on. So I'm just gonna I want to be literally like, you turn it on and be like halfway in the door so I can yell to turn it back off. There's a problem. I'm hoping there isn't, but all I know is everything was solid everywhere. And I was like, oh, Christmas. For, you know, for one day, yeah, that's good, you know. You're not the only one.
Well, I think you're smart to wait until.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just me, it's inconvenience, it's home, well.
I got to think of how last more than 50 years. I didn't really have a big discussion.
Yeah, man, thanks for that.
I'm pretty sure he was one of the days after.
Yeah, I paid that one. I didn't even know you couldn't do that. Because I thought it was 3 hours. It's not, so I was like, can't be there for 3 hours. I wasn't there for 3 hours. I know that I'm insane for being there as late as I was, but I wasn't there for 3 hours. And they're like, no, it's not, we'll just park there in the middle of the night. Yeah, right. Is that how I got in trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just saying that now. They're always right. Yeah, just go down. People ask me, like, is it sale? You're likely not.
And I'm sorry, it's just, I want to be good, so I'm not gonna, I'm gonna
You're gonna watch these government sessions.
I gotta look in there.
They have to build buildings.
Maybe we could,
Talk to an individual in the building house. Why ain't you not to do it I'm one of those, trust me, I have McDonald's again. One of them is gymnasium. Where is it? No, we did. Hold that like, yeah, yeah, really? Yeah, Mark. Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah. I'll never, I don't think, I'll let you be 100. I'm perpetually screwing that up. I show up every place just to watch it. No, they should have.
Well, we used to go down to bars in Buchanan and go to Indiana. I think we had an extra hour on
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's incredible. Yeah, that, I mean, yeah, you got the appetite for it, that rules. I mean, that's gotta be. It's only best and brightest the last hour. Already, 100, by the time you're rolling in there, already, closing time, it's, yeah. Wow, yeah, that's gotta be good.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be shortly after he got that. Well, we were tricky on that. He opened it up and I met him there one night after work. I know we talked about, you know, like we wanted to do a restaurant, and we'll cook and do Mexican stuff, and then we'll haven't heard nothing, and I'm like, he's called me a couple times, and I didn't pick up. And people ask me, what did you do? And I'm like, I said, I don't know.
Your great grandfather had a wife, but without it, you get to that. Yes. That's the thing, they're pretty well paid.
No, it doesn't. That may, or might do something. When they talk,
Then the light building, I mean, it's negative. Well, kind of half and half.
The other thing is, nobody really wants.
Right.
Weigh your options.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta put yourself to ease.
Sure.
That's what it's your first time to the plate, no one's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna sign up.
Right.
But if you go before, they're gonna be like, here's what you're gonna look at it, like, yes, worst thing I could imagine, you're like, you betcha, or skip it, no hard feelings, you know, that's a life, son, you know.
Right.
It is what it is.
And then what is this?
We're gonna take all trips elsewhere. Beautiful presentation, I can't wait to get all that.
Like the copyright thing of,
It's
I invented this.
The dome, golden dome, you can see it, so, and.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm not there.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
They kind of.
Tony Thomas. Yes, we wanted to. Like they said, I got to
That's kind of like being, Swiss chocolate here. We put it in a Hershey's bag for you, and like, you could. I was like, we got distribution everywhere. It's like, you do, you know, but it's just.
It feels like you're like going on the or the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the, I got this ride. That's right.
So, we need
One year.
And not all of them. Well, yeah.
That's my only job. Getting there without
It was that bad, you know.
Well,
they kind of thought my problem with the nuts, cost and.
very beneath his status.
And well, that ended up tragic,
Couldn't said that.
I got some
States. Yeah. As far as I know,
The city bought
he
that.
but my father, during the
Listen, it's not me. You don't need that. I don't care.
We can get our hands on that license and everything, so we're good.
Well, I've got a place to live. Because we looked into doing it. It's just, I can only do what happened? It's like, oh, we're gonna drive it in and do the thing, and you know, like, at some point, it's like, plus I wanna build a cabin, so.
That's where you're going.
and she took me up to my brother's. Some of the words I didn't know, and words I
And that's what I told him, I said.
Well, I don't have water as it is, so like, same.
I gotta go, I told him, I said, I'll look at, look at the access, the sewer manhole is down there at the access.
I'm super motivated. I spent the money to download architectural designs. Actually, they put those already engineered existing things.
Like I am, but watch out these
I
guys.
actually called
We
Tyler.
didn't realize it was actually what you had to go to the dump.
Do you ever think about getting a master?
It doesn't look like that, but it's very cool. I'll see you tomorrow.
No, I'm trying to farm. And it's not tires that were
You're right. Right, yeah, I saw, I was like, my house is something, I like to look at it's just the woods right there. And it's a second story building, so like, it's not, and I won't leave it alone. Just take out the samples, right where I'm opening the house and each of the rest of it. And I like, doesn't have to be out of business. There's no thing to do, it's just dirt from there. So I open it up as like, so it's like the one, two structures on it, it wasn't like one before the other.
I didn't know there was any. We should have listened, but.
Slightly covered it back up, and I left it.
Yeah, after that, I always figure out a way to get theirs out of there, that's free location.
All the old, a bunch of construction here, and then so we put all here, all back in the hole. And most houses, no, we didn't speak to the spirits, because the house is already very forgiving, so. It keeps sinking, so I keep opening it.
I need to, because that's the other thing, I'm almost done now, believe it or not, done enough to where like I'm gonna need to move my really ass out of there. Because they won't like, I can't, there's gonna be no more, you'll be sleeping in the parking lot. Like, in fact, I probably should have been sleeping in the parking lot, but like everybody was kind enough to it's not about that. But come, time for that, like, I gotta get out there, I'd love to build something, so I've got.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm just sitting here. Yeah, sometimes I go to sleep. We'll make sure we wake you up. Yeah, for all of you. Well, you give me the criminal element.
I know what you wish for, you end up.
We're trying.
You gotta wait money to have to be a bad neighbor for him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know a lot of 302 Main Street, if you're interested.
You doing okay?
We just knocked the house down,
Really?
Yeah, well, it's right, it's not like the one street corner that I have all my trucks parked up. We put a garden there. So you are.
Right.
Waterfront, baby.
Yeah, well, no, I know, I have a question.
Yeah.
I want to show you, this is my 30-day water.
Here, last and now.
No, I have it for 250, but I know that you guys have water
We'd have to look into that, I don't know, I test the water twice a month. Specifically, if I have to do that, because we're liabilities on us, the state.
I didn't just replace all my water lines in the
No, it's not gonna, if you want to just personal, I know that they have water test kits at Home Depot.
I have listed in my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one myself too.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sitting there.
No, I know, but I just know that, I'm pretty sure they give it to you for free too.
They're not gonna pay much, you know, so that they're gonna get it really cheap.
I took a chunk of it to South Carolina. It was worth it. Then to take a Dremel tool and Dremel it down to a 4 piece of it so it could solder. Oh, yeah, yeah. And then I was like,
Yeah, so.
He was old. I've been waiting to nicely just throw that in.
No. Look at that.
No snow sticking on that baby.
It is 2146.
Where's that? Fran's off, you should go.
As tall as you are, you only better walk down the middle, you better have.
I'll have to really look at the plans a little bit more seriously. They were inexpensive, they're already approved by an engineer, you know what I mean? It's architecturally stamped already, so maybe I'll be seeing them, maybe they'll be excited about pie process.
Really cool.
And then they make the same one that is given, but they make I should work for that.
Yeah, selling that stuff.
These plans, I just, like, it's the sort of thing that's every 5 years, I was 3 or 4 years in one place. And, like, totally different. Making people material is, the lines, the measurements, that's like the kids. It's the whole exploded, you know, it's a kid. I mean, you get all this stuff yourself, but that's a lot of the guesswork of.
Basement or?
And then there's a bunch of smaller versions of that, just like it, which would be cool for the second one, or
Yeah. That's what I thought too, the first thing I looked at is.
tell me these are cool, these are these, they call these just modern.
Well, we did. Yeah, so I reached out.
I can tell you who's working on
I did, yeah, I caught it.
I don't know what it is, how far it goes back, but that's like 8 off Main Here, I can change it, the autumn. I don't have to stay, do I? What? I don't have to stay, do I? Back to the They never play on Monday night, so when I set this up, I'm like, yeah, no problem with that, I'll be there. And then, the game's Monday, and I'm like, the word Monday.
You talking about?
So when Rich asked you to get out and get water there, you think it is possible?
She very clearly says.
And I, you know, I say,
She didn't ask you to talk to you.
just pour from your site to there, and so I should just put a pump in there, which they use all the time. It's just the water, you probably have to grab a main somewhere and then do it. I don't know what, because when they put in a lot of that, they put stubs in already,
to your house.
Yeah.
Just put the sweater on, it's not that cold. Just kind of scary.
DNR was tired of taking care of it, so they basically cut it off, put it all in front of the loader. They turned it over.
Is it easy? Because that makes sense, is, you know, I mean, their fences drive all over.
Yeah.
I walk all through there, all it has is balance on the ground, and then one really old faded sign down, Sands Park now. Like, you find his last name.
Gone down there, driving one day. Dude, there was a huge walkway that went all the way down. They didn't want to take care of it usually.
I just think they're upstairs.
I thought they,
We're not too involved because here,
well, and especially we got stairs. Well, and for me, like, if you can have a window that doesn't have just glass, it's fabulous. Because as a photographer, you never want anything struck with. When we went up there the other day, I took pictures. So it's so nice to be able to
There's a little bit of.
Nobody's down.
I'm not worried about it. I look at all that stuff.
Let me know if you guys sign.
Where's the opera house? Which I think the opera house was all about. Because you can drive villages, and that's the people. Yeah, it's a grand entrance, but there's just a little more to think of the room. Like you walk through a car, it's a giant,
Still weird.
yeah, it really is. And then you can see underneath those stairs, you can see where the fire happened. And then you can also see where the windows used to be in there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Upstairs, no, this is, it's a little nice. But it's a nice space. That picture's
Yeah, man, I hope you get up.
Yeah. On the strip. Oh my God. Trying to stay in the common areas. It's a really strong. That's a nice one. We did it, we were moving for 3 times. To get the good stuff for that, you have to get a licensed contractor to get that stuff. Oh, it is, it's very, you have to take away special stuff. 55 gallon drums, they're sealed.
They own.
Yeah, it's our Joe product.
Can't give your own kids a job.
Right.
I got Emma to my right, and then the Jim's over here, and I got Rodriguez to my left. Miles is pretty attacked.
Tough, man. We live in sometimes like 1,200 square feet, so, and I have 3 kids, I'll still got the slowest guy, and 2 dogs.
How many dogs?
It's in one
2
of the
dogs,
tanks, and that's
16 dogs.
So what did you take from them?
9 goats,
And
2
so this
pigs,
is a-
2 steers, a miniature horse.
We have a garage.
Yeah. 2 cats, by the way, yeah.
I just brought it over, and so he's using that to.
No, so we took the females
The drain,
and left all the males.
so they've got,
Okay,
like,
because I'm like,
three or
I'm
four,
like,
like,
we're cool with my daughter.
and stuff, and then they.
You're gonna build a whole house. Actually, we were thinking about getting a couple of them.
Yeah, so I want chickens.
Yeah.
So we, yeah, so I did around
It's like the
farm.
stuff
I have,
that's
these were born the other day from my farm.
so we are in the staff meeting, and he's in there.
I have mama goats,
Danny.
baby goats. I have cows and pigs.
Where are they right now?
My daughter's cow. Oh, yeah, we took him and got him a bath. Cut his hair. He had just had a haircut.
Does that blow out?
Yeah.
Did you see this?
Yeah.
What did you use?
My daughter's steer.
Cow? But like, look at this.
Yeah.
He's got better hair than me.
He had a haircut, man, just that day. Took him and got him a haircut.
Good looking cow.
That's a new jacket for you.
Yeah, you
Summer.
see a beautiful animal. I see mistakes on it.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, that's a hanger. What's the hanger weight on that one?
Right now he's only 800 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I look dry aged, you know.
I just got aged. That's delicious, and I'm like, right? I'm like,
You're welcome.
We could die, but we're gonna die happy.
You know.
I get kicked out.
Who's taking
Well, when I looked at it.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I was standing by the window and some guy knows something came out. I'm like, hey kid, walking up the glass, but you know, put your hands out there. You want to come inside, use your medicine. What is that?
Because it needs everyone. I like to do very, when we do it for tree, to be, you know, like Gaulich and certain people's
Like, that's your
names.
favorite turn. How you doing, Kyle?
There you go.
We got another hour or so here.
You all right, Heather?
I'm still up, right?
Anybody
This is
understand
where
that?
Brett needs his bar open, so we can go to his bar and drink beer.
I got the keys to it.
I got the keys to a working.
Oh, I was gonna say, you got the keys in it too?
I'm like, I gotta.
Don't say that too loud.
Oh, Annie's paying attention. I didn't say that.
Annie gave me the code of the gate, so I
It's
can
not
get
that difficult. I'm sure Richard's got the key to the
I
gate,
really
too.
don't know the code of the gate.
You could just probably drive in around.
I'll just, you know, I just get to take this, you know, I'll tell you what door it goes to.
Yeah.
There's a few beers on tap there.
Have you ever been inside, Mike?
No, I have not. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and I got it. Well, I don't remember what day it is.
It's a Tuesday.
So I'm working on getting some more non-alcoholic beverage options, so you guys can come to lunch, I'll have lunch for Mondays and Fridays. So, what I do is
Right now, for the dinner thing, I'm on the south. So they're looking at some city shades of, all the rest of yeah.
Well, if you guys have the opportunity to take breaks, quarters for your lunch.
Yeah.
That's super important for you. And even if you can't have some.
Oh, I know.
We'll take care of it, so, but I'm just making sure that you guys have the opportunity to invite us. So,
And never came to me, Tony, Brenda, and she was Brenda Hess.
Well, we do
Yeah, but I think something must have
You're open on the fourth, amazing.
Well, you said that was personal.
Hey, did you two get your invites? Right. You can get there.
I'm gonna get there.
Last year we invited the commissioners and they were all fun.
I don't think she's
Shocking.
Yeah. And then if the weather's good, we'll run back there, the city. It was like a.
Yank you around the last nothing?
Oh, that'd be fun.
It is fun. It is fun.
I'm really competitive.
Yeah, so I have a spot for that too. I have this whole spiel that I give to everybody. I tell them like, there's 4 golden rules, you know.
Running the Warriors
No
clock.
smoking, no fights. And I tell them,
Pay
like,
more.
you watch the games. And like, there's a deal, I'll let you out there. I'm like, oh, that's what we're the bull. And they're like, the bull, I'm like, but he's only there 3 days a week, so you choose wisely. You know, and you can pick the good days, you know, when I'll let you out there, I'm like, that's never. So, but we'll have time for you. So, it'll be awesome. Real good friend. We're trying to get to the bottom. Yeah, well, the community just, they don't know about us. You know, it's important for you guys, you guys are a lunch space for us as well, so I want you guys to let you come out and have some of this. Not have beer, have other stuff. We may make everything ourselves, we may not have Coke and Pepsi, but we make ginger soda, we make some fruit sodas, we make it all, so, yeah. So it'll be nice for you guys.
It was very helpful having
So our pay a little bit more. Yeah.
Why? What are you talking about? I heard all that and I'm like, I don't know enough about it to weigh in. I was just kind of an odd thing.
I know, I'm so sorry. I just like to rearrange
What are they doing back there?
They're still doing closed session, Don.
You go get them, Don.
Why aren't you in it?
They
Are they running the lawyer's clock? So it's gonna cost the city a lot of money?
I couldn't say.
You should ask them, right?
I'm always, you know, offer mine.
There you go. Put a bit in there, Don.
I'm sure. Well, probably I wouldn't.
Are you a night owl, Don? You like to be up, are you a night owl? Do you like to stay up late?
No, that is one of the things.
You like to stay up late at night, or you stay up late at night, or you usually go to bed at like?
I'm sure they talk about it in a second.
You like these late night meetings?
No, I don't put it in my.
That's how I grew up playing. Like whoever bought, there was like 5 in every.
You know, you can file a petition at 124.
Right. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
You only need 6 signatures.
Horrendous, but wonderful. Show us how it's done. We don't have
She said she's running those 6.
Yes, yeah.
Is that the garden?
Yeah, and our house is putting on as disgusting.
Yeah, mine. I never.
I just like so much different. So we cleaned up like yesterday, so I'm like, I thought everyone else was clean for like a month, but I don't.
Oh, right.
Cause it drives me crazy, but it's good, we're getting stuff out of our house, it makes me feel so good. You know what?
That's good.
Yeah, it's better, I think, than anything, so.
Make the public access a little bit bigger.
Well, apparently it's approved potential.
Yeah,
So
right.
it says like consider approved,
And I put
which does everything listed above.
And I have one strip in the bathroom, but I have one all done, so.
One sign that's about fish. Interesting. Not a salmon. And my other gate's got holes in it, so it's easy to walk around. No, we're just.
Surprised you guys aren't back there. Sounds like. I don't know, there's more people here than there's ever been during a closed session.
So I think our house is very welcome right now.
Like the old days? Down here. We're doing this like I remember those days. Whenever I wanted to eat.
The next meeting.
And you don't want that? Oh, if you start thinking about the trees, yeah, my I that was. How many do you want? Right, I'm gonna say. I'll do it.
So who's doing form stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
This is why I did it.
That's awesome. My husband is gonna come steal your cabbage.
You better watch it. He's going for it.
I was gonna say now, but you
How much?
No, but I'm hiring architecturally, I have a design. Like, so we make instructions to now to understand, you know, so I could take.
I don't know.
To the building, just for the city has to go to a separate, its own tank, which is separate from our sanitary. They put us through the rigmarole, so believe me, they put us through the rigmarole too, you know, they did, you know, so, and we're out the one, like, well, charter, you know, we have to, we don't just like septic account, just, that's just a waste for our. Sometimes it's not, it depends on the waste,
But then inside it's like.
beer we're putting, you know, and then that is totally separate from our sanitary septic system, which we're on a septic as well. Yeah, so, but we're out, and they say, you're on a flood, we're not too far off. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna handle like 30 by 30 piece of sheet metal.
And that's why I spoke, because I know that their septic was too big, they don't see 90 degrees there. Like, all they really want to do is make sure
That is awesome.
I definitely
Yeah, and then you can just budget out exactly. You've got an asset inventory. So you're
But yeah, any information, so I can.
Yeah, I need to get it.
Yeah.
Deborah needs to send the text.
Okay, so you've already talked to me.
But I've been thinking of insurance things.
But it would be cute to have a little like family once you like chat.
Right, and we'll need to, like,
So these are
You know, and it doesn't matter, you're doing it already.
So I just
Then you just try to receive, so, we had to do that, we were part of a watershed.
I know, dude, I've been listening, I heard it.
That is so cool. And then, are you gonna burn that lumber, or how are you gonna get it black?
You broke off.
Yep, you never know what's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
I'm learning that.
I love him. I don't know if you, but I love him. We haven't really had a chance to talk to him stuff yet, other than he's been in the truck surgery. He seemed pretty cool. Although he's cool. He's like he's really good about sending us to be preemptive, like asking questions. We're building a second location. Yeah, he's been there.
Oh, great, Patrick told me
Why wait? I think this sounds a little bit. He's ready to work with everybody. I promise. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, everyone that you having out, invite to stay my personal life over here, I'm so lost out in that way. You go to like.
DNR access.
I'm an expert on I work for less than that guy. $100 an hour.
Because usually you can be right. I have like I can't look at you.
That would be chaos.
I don't even know where to go.
where you can go. So we get ours. Yeah.
But my kids are still.
My kids did rabbits.
Oh, I don't know. I just show them. Little Daryl. That's my 14-year-old daughter. He's a short one.
Alright, so
And that's what
That's right. The other one.
And then all the chickens like this get 2
Beyonce, Joe. She's trying to prove it.
I'll think about it after the flowers. I'm like, yeah, oh,
And you can launch from there. Very
Oh, we do them for the fair. So if you, what, my oldest is 17. No, 21 is the oldest. If I didn't ask me. Well, the dream is always that they go to college and then they're too busy for their fair cut. They don't buy their fair money from college. Dad pays for all the feed and goes broke feeding all the animals. Yeah, yeah, so this is. I did hear you. Yes. But I also have actually, I if you ever been around down here, in the white one with the crest on
I don't know if Leonard was like the city name for him, but he was calling him. So he was always like.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you it wasn't Leonard. She is here.
So we have, this was getting his so they want to be They go to pasture with all these other animals in it, ducks run around everywhere, so I'll just take a moment and see what it does. Get a we actually got him a girlfriend that actually looks like we're actually really hoping that, yes, we call them Elvis and their son. So we're really hoping that they possibly, make dude, I couldn't tell you because they come out so many different colors. We won't find them We did, yes, because there were so many different breeders, so many ones they were having so many eggs, and, yeah, so we moved all the females a couple years ago. So the ones that migrate fly away, these are domesticated ones, they fly, so if they show up, someone will drop it.
My daughter wanted to see her as a real thing. She's like, just let them go. And I'm like, I don't think so. Yeah, it seems like they're a simple solution. Try to see them out just the other
It's already made a conflict of interest. Maybe we should
My dad and my grandfather ran a slaughter, so we did on Saturdays and Sundays, we ran a slaughter. Well, we mainly ran chickens and rabbits, older and smaller animals. We did bigger animals, like we did all of them. We mainly did chickens, so. I just don't, yeah, it just doesn't excite me, you know, I'll eat chicken, don't get me wrong. It's part of my.
It just appears that.
I'm calling for chickens in my life too, but it's like, if you just try it yourself, I get the slaughter.
So where was the slaughterhouse?
So actually, my mom and dad lived on Chicken Road. There was a small one there that we ran for a long time, and then my grandfather and my dad's dad, when we lived on the prairie, out on Mayflower Road, he started one, and we had a much bigger facility there. Yes, well, it was, my great uncle lived around the corner. My dad's brother lived next to him, and it was a base, and then it was my great grandma, and then it was my grandparents lived in the big.
So where on Mayflower?
We lived on the other side of the bypass, so when you go over the bypass on Bertrand, we were on that side, so we're starting, now my aunt built that newer house that's down there, my dad's sister built the newer house, the brick home. Between Mayflower and Portage Road, and between Bertrand and Adams Road, so the state line. So, yeah, so when you turn off Bertrand on Mayflower, my dad's brother lived in the first house on the east side of the road. We lived in the second house. My great grandma was the third house, and my grandparents were the fourth house. And now, then it was my great uncle on the corner of Bertrand, and then now it's my dad's sister.
No, I just have photos on there. I took down my binder.
Just to have
Yes. Well, that's so professional. No, it was on that side, we lived on the other side. We lived in the second house in the corner on the east side of the road. Yeah, well, there was. In the farm, someone bought the farm, and now they have animals back. So we raised, back in the day, we had farrowing barns and finishing barns, and we had probably 1,000 head hog farm. That's what I remember up at, a hog farm. Got out of that business because it went south. We actually raised Poland, we made Poland. And then we started and when I say everything else, we had everything else. We had land, we had goats, we had snakes, we had cows, we had, you name it. No, I live on Bakertown, so. Yep.
So there was actually big
I'm not gonna go to I'm not running for state delegate.
You wanna know a funny story? My wife, so my wife and I got married, I bought a house.
Precinct delegates on
Since
the
11 West Ottawa Street comes out.
And I don't know why they set this.
That house got right there, I was there, I bought it. I did windows, siding, furnace, roof, you name it, landscaping, trees, I did everything. I just got finished, my wife, we were pregnant with our first daughter.
I'm gonna say you don't do this because I'm right now.
They set these meetings on the line of school board.
City Fire Department, Virginia Fire.
City commission.
And we lived at that time, home 10
A
acres.
lot of us are interested in the
Build a house on the mountain trail. But we had this house on Bakertown Road, and we kept looking at it. Well, it was for sale very early on after we got engaged. And I should have bought it. I could have bought it. I was working. I could have bought it. But I didn't. Then it came back up for sale. I had just bought a house and my land, and I couldn't swing back. So then we get married, she gets pregnant. I go to a fire call at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's south on Bakertown. I had to Buffalo Star. And lo and behold, I drive by the house. So we got disregarded on this fire call. So I drive back past the thing, we stopped the fire truck in the middle of Bakertown. I stopped it because I was driving. I got out, wrote down the number, I went back to the firehouse, I called my wife from the firehouse, I said, hey. She said, oh my God, is everything okay? Because it's the middle of the night, I left for a fire call. I said, yeah, everything's fine. Our house is for sale. She said, oh, okay. She's like, you called at 3 o'clock in the morning, woke me up. So the next day I called.
Are you achieving anything more than they are in that meeting?
I think we are.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think that, you know, several $100s an hour paying them, they ought to, commissioners ought to get together and figure this thing out.
They could hire you for much cheaper, I'm sure.
Well, I'm an expert on conflict of interest and all these stuff. I just passed my 72nd year as member of the board.
Yeah.
That's 38 years in court and other Fortune 500 corporations. But I really am not volunteering to represent the city. Even at 500 an hour. And
I represent them at 500 an hour. I don't know what they're getting, some biscuits, some eggs, and an omelet, but no conflict of interest.
Well, you're gonna get a tanker trailer for the tree?
So we've been 5-gallon buckets out of the trees and hauling stuff around.
This was a climbing the tree, you know. I got a couple of them on our tree line.
Yeah, do you take care of them?
Yeah, well, and I ended up having, when they were young trees, I had to go out there and watch them. All right, they survived.
Yeah, we lost a couple of trees this summer. There's not, the middle school kids are taken care of. The elementary school, they taken care of on the school year, but we never worked out a program for the summer, and so. No, I think it's because they lost. They need to go put some tags on.
Yeah, they gave artists a big old sleeve. Yeah, it's a big art, I mean, something
Well, I think it's also because
Well, the preservation society coordinated out under the city plant ornamental trees. Well, they're pretty big. I didn't want to have that field line empty. So I got it, I got the, city to plant those trees. And it's better than nothing. I would have rather seen canopy trees. And we'll still take those out and plant canopy trees.
During the water program, they're gonna all those trees on Front Street. But when they do well, I don't know. The pear trees are going. And they're beautiful.
I wanna keep that alive.
Well, who's the tree expert in mine told me that I couldn't keep those 100-year-old or 139-year-old trees because they get the trees in paved and the sidewalk in paved and they didn't get enough water to set the root. Well, someone pointed out to me that the tree expert, his big business was taking down trees. So I shouldn't have listened to him. Too bad.
So you took down trees on their.
Yeah. Well, one of them, we had a tornado, a small tornado, and I took one of them out. The other two, I don't know, I had them taken out. I'm not proud of it. They might still be there.
I got a 130-year-old tree.
If it doesn't hit my trucks when I drive down the road, it's.
Actually, in the ordinance, city ordinance, it says that homeowners are responsible for maintaining those trees, which is not totally fair because they don't own them.
Trees in that tree lawn.
You can't without permission. But people do.
Yeah, so not necessarily a
Right, but encourage people to do it.
Yeah, no, you see, somebody up by Todd's place planted. Some kind of, no, it's some kind of.
Right, so they were selling.
And we planted the preservation tree in front of Todd's place and it killed it.
Yeah.
Like it got hit twice and Steve went and restaked it. They just didn't want it. And Richard talked to us.
Yeah.
They told us like, because like Patty. But also parties.
Okay, that makes sense.
He was.
So it's possible.
You're under for talent, I mean, if we have to raise all of it. Do you ever see like limited numbers of houses, we're not getting six, you know?
No, I wondered, I didn't know if that was down here or something.
certainly not lighting the world on fire.
We got some questions then. They all were dry. I always said it was messy. The only person who ever called was the other.
She was always but if you have stuff that you're taking, might be interested. I can't fly in his
Well, I waited this long.
I think it's nice that we have other people to talk to other than, I love you, Mike, but usually when these closed sessions happen, it's just me and Mike sitting back with Tim and Harvey over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking how nice it is to have guests, other people here during the closed session. Oh, yeah, it is. I said, I love Mike and I love you too, but it's nice to have other people. Right, yeah. Appreciate that.
But she was throwing. And part of what he always did is that his writing is
North side. Rich has had. So Elaine got.
Nice, we figured you guys took a nap while you guys were back there.
We wanted to be out here sooner.
All that time at $300 an hour? I wish talking to lawyers, I would not talk very long to them. Just give the answer.
Aren't you an attorney? Yeah, he was.
He was.
Aren't you an attorney?
1950? Oh, yeah. I've been a member of the bar since 1951.
All right.
38 years with Park Equipment.
You're just mad because
It was BMW.
you're just mad because we're not sending you a bill.
That's right. If he was in there, he would have told us to talk as
Nah,
long as we
man,
want.
he's looking for billable hours.
I know.
That's what he's looking at.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody like to make a motion to re-enter open? Is
I'll make the motion to reopen.
there support?
This money I support.
The roll call, please?
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon.
Yes.
You're back and open.
Okay. All right. Someone like to make a motion for number 3?
I move to authorize action as discussed in closed session.
Thank you. Is there support?
This is money I'll support.
Roll call, please?
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski.
Yep.
Carried.
Thank you. And then down to item B4. Mr. Viancy wanted to, you want to reiterate what you asked the
got
last time?
Motion I made the last time, I want to just make the same motion.
You want help?
Do you have it in your minutes? I mean, I'm just politely asking to make the exact same motion I made 2 weeks ago.
Yep, give me 1 second.
I just wanted to do it word for word.
Yep.
And my basically, in layman's terms, without the motion is to open a lift station up at 15 to 12 and have him come down here every 90 days and just talk to us. I mean, it's basically just come and say, hi, how's things going, you know, and do that for a year. That's all I'm asking for. That's my motion.
Oh, here we go. Motion made by Viancy, supported by Whedon, to allow 15 to 12 restaurant to open the lift station up to come back on to city sewer with a 90-day report to the commission for the next 12 months, with the contingency of it coming back to the city commission if said report is not received, and revisit the approval after 12 months.
You wanna take that last?
We gotta take that
Yeah,
last part.
yeah. I think we just,
You just want the lift station.
allow 15 to 12 restaurant to open the lift station up to come back onto city sewer with a 90-day report to the commission for the next 12 months.
Yep, got you. Beyonce's motion?
Is there support?
I'll support.
Go ahead, Larry's got it.
You did the last time.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
You good? Okay.
Swam?
Yes.
Dennison?
Yes.
Whedon?
Yes.
Bianski?
Yes.
Money?
Yes.
I should have said no just for, I should have said no.
I
just
know,
for the
I
hell
was
of it.
waiting for it.
So when's that gonna open now?
Monday?
I think he said tonight. No.
Okay.
We wish you, we wish you the best of luck, we really do. And I'm sorry for the delays. I hope you can understand that we have 4,500 people we're up here to try and protect and serve, so. But we wish you absolutely the best of luck, and I can't wait to try some of the dishes that I keep seeing.
Amen to that. Amen to that. We're gonna sit with her. We're gonna sit with her.
We don't have to take our tags out with us, do we?
I think he knows your face by now.
Yeah.
Been throwing
Okay.
darts at it.
Let's
Yeah.
move on to item C, budget amendments. Let's see, option A, consider. Would someone like to make a motion on the budget amendments? We have A and B. Oh, yeah. I think A and B are the,
A and B?
A and B. A or B.
Yeah, either one of those two works, so.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, either one of them.
Well, A keeps, would allow Ashley, who's already full-time employed, to remain full-time with a slightly different role. And then B is, consider, option B, which authorizes an agreement for the new Main Street Manager / Assistant Director of Community Development, includes a pay increase, and, yeah. So, just to clarify.
All right,
Looking for a motion, anybody?
I move to approve the budget amendment, 01-23-23-A as presented.
That's option A.
That's option A.
Is there support? Not hearing any. Okay. Anybody else like to make any motions?
Larry, I'll support.
You're gonna support A?
Hmm?
Okay, discussion?
I got a comment.
Go ahead.
I wanna make sure that I'm not gonna dictate the hours or how this goes, but I want this money very explicitly kept to what it was before this all started. We don't need to go into it any more than that, but this is not a substantial raise, this is basically putting her on at the money she was making between the chamber and the city, as a full-time employee for the city, at the rate that she was getting under the contract terms or the agreement that was originally agreed to. It's not a motion or nothing,
I think, and that's what option A covered, wasn't it?
Is it,
Yeah,
does
I
it
think
really say
basically-
that though?
a transition from the position.
Yeah, she remains as a full-time employee, which is.
She's already a full-time employee, so
Right.
she just
Yeah,
remains a
to
full-time
remain as
employee.
full-time.
A is basically changing her title.
Yeah.
I just wanna make, you can approve this, I don't care how you vote on it, but I'm gonna make a motion and there is no increase in wages on this.
So you can't make a motion yet because we
Right.
gotta vote on this one.
My
But that
thing-
was
my
an
big
option
thing
A.
long-term is that the Main Street program, which I think you guys are doing, forms your strategy on how to absorb the director role long-term as a full-time,
That's 3/4
self-sufficient.
You guys just have to give us time to do that.
Yep,
you
I
know?
understand that.
So.
That's my biggest piece of this.
Any other-
I think Ashley does excellent work. I think you guys have been covering a lot. I believe in her.
And just for the sake of conversation for Ashley, and I can't imagine how difficult it is to sit there and have this many people in a public forum dictating what your future looks like. I have to believe that it's I can see it on your face, and so I just let it be known that the decisions we're making and what we've discussed over the course of time tonight is not directly related to you personally.
Right.
It has zero to do with that. It has to do with the reason that we believe you need to stay, that this board has presented, is clearly evidence of what you've brought to the table. So it's only difficult because we understand that financially is Dan or Larry had stated that, you know, we're responsible to 4,500 people and we have to ensure that financially we're being fiscally conservative. So it's not a level of contention based on who you are and what your capabilities are. It has zero to do with that because you've proven to this board many times. And what you do with that board is well vetted, so just let that be known for the record.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski. No. Money,
Yes.
Swam.
No.
Motion carries 3-2.
Moving down to option C. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve budget amendment 12323C as presented.
Is there support?
This is money, I'll support it.
We have roll call, please?
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski.
No, wait a minute, no,
You got
there was
questions?
no discussion on this.
You didn't call for discussion.
No, because what I just got done saying, this has just been authorized. This
What are
option
you-
C,
This is completely different. This is,
It's a whole different, it's totally different. This has to do with Colin. This has to do
no,
with-
it doesn't, you guys, read it. To
Well,
help
go ahead.
cons, for additional duties the clerk must take, city wait a minute.
City administration recommends the approval of the budget, of this budget amendment, which is for this.
Okay,
Well,
Carol,
you're in discussion, I mean.
I'm sorry.
She
I'm
does-
sorry, I had to read it, because I
It did-
just thought
it
it
did-
was undoing
no,
everything
you're
I
right.
just
It-
said.
Yeah, it did read unusual.
I had to read it through. Did you call my name? I'm
Yes.
sorry, Cal,
Yeah.
yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison.
yes.
Carries.
Item D, IT services agreement?
So before you is in a proposed agreement from Exemplar IT Services. You're being asked to consider that would allow for a 6-month agreement. The city administration started with a soft transition to utilize Exemplar to try them out, as was suggested, and their services have been very helpful, so approval is recommended.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
Why do we have to enter into an agreement instead of as is? Is there a reason?
Because it was requested by the vendor in order for them to secure maintaining staff dedicated to our service.
It's an operational issue, it sounds like, for his company, I would think.
Yeah, it does seem concerning that he would need an agreement for.
Well, I mean, I get it. But the last company we had did the same thing and we didn't have a contract.
Right.
I just think their company's still too small for us to enter any kind of contract with. That's my personal opinion.
Would anybody like to make a motion?
Was the question answered that Patrick just asked? Did we have any issues with their, did we have any issues with the police department with this company?
With this company?
Yeah, this one that we're about to approve.
No.
We haven't had any problems with it.
Matter of fact, they got our equipment up and running, like the other company could not.
Okay. I'll move to approve exemplar IT services agreement as presented.
Is there support?
This money, I'll support that.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
No.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
carried.
I'm really sorry about the only no.
Let's go down to communications.
None for this evening.
Okay, and public comment on non-agenda items. Anybody wishing to make a public comment, please make your way to the podium, state your name for the minutes.
Nobody.
No.
You wore out from talking to the lawyer for so long.
All right, let's move down to executive comments. City manager comments?
Oh, sorry.
None this
None?
evening. No.
Sorry. Commissioner Money?
Oh.
That's switching it up.
I like it.
Switch it up.
It only took him 2 years.
Well, Anton left, congratulations, Anton. I hope your business works out well. I'm quite sure it will. Once again, we as a community, like Mark talked about here, we gotta support that, and hopefully we will do that. Ashley, congratulations on your little move. Appreciate it. You had a lot of support from this little letter that we received and everything, so welcome back aboard. Thank you for everybody that stuck around here. When we go into these sessions, I know it takes a lot just to be able to sit here and listen to the chief talk or something like that, but we appreciate, everybody that sticks around, and once again, thank you to this commission for what they do. We have to make some difficult choices, and hopefully we make all the right ones. Kudos to all our city staff. Appreciate everything that you do.
Mr. Viancy?
There's a meeting on Wednesday, I think it's at the middle school, chief, for the superintendent. A meet and greet at the middle school. Is that at 4:45? Probably. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what she's gonna talk about. I believe, tax increase is gonna be the same one that was on the ballot in November, is gonna be on the ballot in May. You should really probably go to your school and participate, try to get some answers about what they're gonna spend your money on. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Commissioner Swem?
I got nothing. I'm excited about Anton. I appreciate the work all sides have put in on that, and it's going to be great for this community, and I can't wait to get out there.
Commissioner Whedon?
Awesome. I may be a little biased, but congratulations, Ashley, for what I know you're going to continue to do for that board. And I know that it's only just the beginning of great things that we're going to see. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody who stuck around, and that's it.
The only thing I wanted to do was say congratulations to our new Miss Buchanan, Ariana Hankins, and also Lillian Wagner's father was here earlier. He's gone, but I was going to congratulate Lillian on a great run as Miss Buchanan. She's still Miss Blossom time for a few more weeks, or maybe a couple months, I think. But either way, two fine young girls representing our community. So congratulations to both of them. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make said motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second that motion?
He'll second it.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski.
Yep.
You're adjourned.
Oh, can you make copies of this?